The escalating situation in Yemen has evolved into an international crisis that consistently appears on global agendas in recent years. The United States has long maintained an indirect role through logistical and intelligence support. However, recent official reports indicate that the U.S. Air Force and Navy have intensified direct airstrikes against the Houthi rebels, with F-35 and F-A-18 aircraft launching from the USS Harry S. Truman and USS Vinson aircraft carriers actively operating in the region. The latest Houthi news suggests an unprecedented level of military engagement. Recent developments over the past few weeks have elevated these operations to new heights. Reports have emerged that the United States has, for the first time, extensively deployed the GBU-53 StormBreaker smart glide bombs, which were previously only mentioned in classified contexts or used on a limited scale against the Houthi movement in Yemen. According to Pentagon sources, the emergence of this weapon system on the battlefield signals a new phase in the military technology being employed against Houthi forces. This escalation comes at a time when the Houthi flag continues to fly defiantly in contested territories, marking a significant shift in the conflict's dynamics. Moreover, the discovery of partially damaged or unexploded StormBreaker bomb fragments on the battlefield has raised concerns about Iran and Russia potentially gaining access to this advanced technology. What strategic military targets has the United States engaged using StormBreaker glide bombs in recent airstrikes against the Houthi rebels? How will these weapons escalate the aerial campaigns in Yemen? Why are Iran and Russia particularly interested in the StormBreaker technology? We will address all these questions in today's video. But before we begin, please subscribe to our channel, turn on notifications, and like this video to stay updated with our latest content. The Houthi movement, which has recently triggered major global crises in the Middle East, has become the focal point of attention due to their threats to shipping traffic in the Red Sea. The Houthi rebels have repeatedly declared attacks on U.S. naval vessels. In fact, the latest Houthi news indicates they now pose an even greater threat with their expanded arsenal of drones and cruise missiles with extended range capabilities. These developments have prompted the Washington administration, particularly during Donald Trump's tenure, to take more direct military actions against Houthi forces. The intensifying situation has drawn international attention as the Houthi flag continues to represent a significant challenge to regional stability and maritime security. According to military sources, hundreds of airstrikes have been conducted against Houthi positions in Yemen, with advanced combat aircraft like F-35 Lightning II and F-A-18EF Super Hornet leading most operations. The USS Harry S. Truman and USS Vinson aircraft carriers serve as the central hubs for these activities. The U.S. air campaign targeting Yemen aims to destroy the Houthi rebels' weapons stockpiles and disable their missile and drone infrastructure, marking a significant escalation in the conflict against the Houthi movement. The U.S. Department of Defense statements indicate that these operations heavily rely on technological elements such as high-precision navigation systems and AI-assisted guidance systems. The F-35 and F-A-18 aircraft continuously bombard targets deep within Yemeni territory day and night, while the U.S. Air Force extends these aircraft's operational range through aerial refueling. Recent Houthi news confirms that the deployment of advanced glide bombs like StormBreaker to strike multiple critical targets in Yemen represents a crucial turning point in battlefield engagement. These sophisticated weapons have been particularly effective against the Houthi movement's fortified positions, demonstrating the U.S. military's commitment to neutralizing threats posed by the Houthi rebels. The intensity of these operations reflects the growing concern over the Houthi flag's expanding influence in the region and the group's increasing military capabilities. Let's delve deeper into understanding the GBU-53B StormBreaker and its strategic significance, particularly in operations against the Houthi movement. The GBU-53B StormBreaker, developed by Raytheon, represents a cutting-edge advancement in small-diameter bomb technology. True to its name, this weapon system has gained recognition for its exceptional precision and versatile combat capabilities, despite its relatively lightweight design, making it particularly effective in strikes against Houthi rebels' positions. Its breakthrough in tactical aviation lies in the integration of multiple seeker systems within a single bomb body, ensuring high kill probability against both mobile and stationary targets across all weather conditions, a crucial advantage in the ongoing conflict where Houthi news reports indicate increasingly sophisticated defensive measures. One of StormBreaker's most distinguished features is its diverse sensor suite, which includes millimeter wave radar, infrared seekers, and semi-active laser guidance capabilities. This advanced technology enables pilots to guide the bomb with unprecedented accuracy, even in varying weather conditions or against different target types, including those protected under the Houthi flag. Thanks to its innovative wing design and lightweight bomb body, StormBreaker can glide dozens of kilometers from its launch aircraft. This standoff capability significantly reduces aircraft vulnerability when approaching heavily defended Houthi targets, enhancing mission effectiveness while ensuring crew safety. According to official sources, StormBreaker demonstrates effectiveness at ranges up to 70 kilometers. This range can extend further depending on the altitude and speed of the fighter aircraft carrying the bomb. The 45-kilogram warhead of StormBreaker is specifically engineered to minimize collateral damage while delivering extremely precise strikes, making it particularly effective against Houthi rebels' fortified positions. The combination of low explosive yield and high accuracy makes StormBreaker an ideal choice for precision strike missions, especially in campaigns aimed at minimizing civilian casualties in areas where the Houthi movement operates. In challenging weather conditions such as thick cloud cover or sandstorms, common in regions where Houthi news reports frequent military activities, the millimeter wave radar proves invaluable. This technology enables the bomb to navigate through adverse weather conditions, effectively targeting underground facilities or specific desert positions utilized by Houthi forces, even in areas where the Houthi flag flies prominently, ensuring consistent mission success regardless of environmental challenges. The United States' first public deployment of StormBreaker in Yemen demonstrates their commitment to achieving high-precision and accurate destruction capabilities in targeting opposition groups. The bomb's advanced sensors can detect Houthi rebels' missile launchers or underground weapons caches, and even track moving convoys where the Houthi flag might be present. Defense experts suggest that this inaugural use of StormBreaker in Yemen was prompted by intelligence indicating the need to destroy rapidly relocating missiles operated by the Houthi movement. Meanwhile, StormBreaker's development journey began with its integration into the F-15E Strike Eagle platform. Recently, the F/A-18EF Super Hornet, available in both Navy and Air Force variants, F-35 Lightning II, and several other platforms have achieved compatibility with this sophisticated weapon. This compatibility means carrier-based aircraft can readily deploy StormBreaker, which is particularly relevant given that air operations against the Houthi rebels in Yemen are conducted from aircraft carriers. The latest Houthi news confirms the strategic importance of this deployment capability. The F/A-18 can carry multiple StormBreaker bombs under its wings, while the F-35 can house them within its internal weapons bay, maintaining a low radar signature. This versatile combination enables the United States to conduct powerful and effective strikes against Houthi forces. The integration across multiple platforms enhances the military's ability to respond swiftly to emerging threats from the Houthi movement, providing commanders with flexible options for precision engagement while maintaining operational security. Thanks to the bomb's operational range, aircraft can deploy and withdraw without needing close proximity to targets. Moreover, StormBreaker's multi-sensor architecture renders futile any attempts by the Houthi rebels to conceal themselves in cloudy, dusty, or nighttime conditions. Given the extremely low detection probability of fifth-generation stealth platforms like the F-35, the Houthi movement's air defense systems, if any, face significant challenges in intercepting such attacks. Consequently, reports of Super Hornets launching from the USS Harry S, Truman, and USS Vinson to conduct deep strikes into Yemen's interior, utilizing StormBreaker to inflict substantial damage on Houthi forces, have become one of the most prominent military developments covered in recent Houthi news. These bombs have taken center stage in the latest offensive operations. The United States' deployment of StormBreaker in recent attacks in Yemen, where the Houthi flag once flew freely, demonstrates a strategy aimed at swiftly disrupting the Houthi rebels' logistical networks. The precision and effectiveness of these strikes have significantly impacted the operational capabilities of the Houthi movement, marking a new phase in the ongoing conflict that has garnered international attention. The Houthi rebels, operating in small convoys across Yemen's treacherous mountainous terrain, often prove elusive to conventional bombing or large-scale airstrikes. However, smart weapons like StormBreaker can effectively lock on to moving targets using radar and infrared sensors, making them exceptionally effective in eliminating Houthi movement's command vehicles or missile-carrying trucks. Consequently, the United States is conducting precision strikes targeting the Houthis' inland missile and UAV storage facilities to paralyze their capability to attack vessels in the Red Sea. The reputation of these bombs spread rapidly throughout Yemen as soon as they were first deployed against the forces carrying the Houthi flag. However, social media footage emerging from Yemen has revealed partially damaged or unexploded StormBreaker bomb fragments lying on the ground. This development has sparked renewed discussions about the effectiveness of these weapons against the Houthi rebels, though military analysts maintain that such instances are rare and don't significantly impact the overall success rate of these precision-guided munitions. Recent Houthi news continues to document the ongoing campaign and its impacts on the group's military capabilities. These discoveries contain highly sensitive data that has raised significant concerns within the United States. If a StormBreaker bomb falls into adversary hands, particularly the Houthi movement or their allies, it presents a major opportunity for reverse engineering and understanding the weapon's design vulnerabilities. Rival nations like Iran, which supports the Houthi rebels, and Russia could gather crucial information about key components such as infrared laser seekers, MW radar systems, signal transmitters, or GPS antennas by acquiring such unexploded ordnance. Recent Houthi news suggests increased efforts to locate and salvage these weapons. This technology could then be replicated to produce counterfeit versions or similar missiles, potentially strengthening forces operating under the Houthi flag. The Pentagon maintains various protocols to prevent unexploded bombs from falling into enemy possession. These measures include destroying sensitive components or activating self-destruct mechanisms within the bombs. However, due to complex battlefield conditions, particularly in areas where the Houthi rebels operate, not all munitions successfully activate these protective mechanisms. Furthermore, one of the most concerning scenarios for the United States involves the Houthi rebels or their affiliated militia groups locating an intact missile, dismantling it, and transferring it to Iran. According to reports emerging from the conflict zones in Yemen, shared images reveal nearly intact components of the StormBreaker, including tail sections, wings, and sensor modules. There is widespread speculation that Russia might leverage its regional connections to gather intelligence about the StormBreaker-guided bombs appearing in the Middle East, similar to their efforts in the Ukraine conflict. As a result, the United States is actively working to detect and destroy unexploded ordnance on the battlefield through precision airstrikes when necessary. Nevertheless, Trump remained committed to his promises. Despite all these risks, the entire F/A-18 fleet continues to grow significantly stronger with StormBreaker support. The U.S. a decision to conduct effective bombing campaigns to weaken the Houthi movement's attacks and their military ties with Iran is reshaping various power dynamics within Yemen. The ongoing military operations have particularly impacted the Houthi rebels' capabilities, as evidenced by recent Houthi news reports. The situation remains complex, with forces loyal to the Houthi flag maintaining their resistance despite increased pressure from coalition forces. On one front, the United States is advancing ground operations through collaboration with local militia groups. Simultaneously, critical Houthi positions are being targeted with precision StormBreaker strikes. These developments confirm rumors that the Houthi movement has lost significant logistical channels and suffered considerable losses among their senior leadership. However, the Houthi rebels persist in maintaining their presence by utilizing weapons and ammunition sourced from maritime routes or through underground networks. The Houthi movement appears to be actively seeking military resources. The Houthi rebels in Yemen continue to receive regular military support from Iran, with multiple reports indicating that missile components and drone parts supplied by Tehran are being smuggled into Yemen across the Oman Sea. While these reports remain unverified, U.S. military analysts are confident that Iran is providing the Houthi movement with a sophisticated logistics network in this domain. Recent Houthi news suggests their resilience despite setbacks, with the Houthi flag still flying over their controlled territories. the United States aims to establish air superiority over Yemen and disrupt this supply chain, targeting key infrastructure and supply routes used by the rebels. This strategic approach reflects the broader U.S. However, according to media reports, at least some members of Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps may have withdrawn from Yemen. If Tehran achieves progress in a potential nuclear deal with the West, they might choose to completely abandon the Houthi movement. Nevertheless, this possibility remains uncertain. This uncertainty could create an urgency demanding the deployment of the most advanced U.S. bombs. The situation raises questions about whether swift and decisive U.S. intervention in Yemen could completely destroy the Houthi rebels at some point. Recent Houthi news suggests that such an outcome is complex and multifaceted. Most experts believe that even if the Houthi movement faces conventional military defeat, they would continue to persist by adopting guerrilla tactics or retreating to mountainous regions. The resilience of the Houthi rebels, symbolized by the continued presence of the Houthi flag in their strongholds, indicates that military solutions alone may not be sufficient to resolve this conflict. However, the Houthi movement's capability to attack ships in the Red Sea being targeted by StormBreaker bombs is a critical concern for the United States in protecting maritime transport security. It's well documented that Saudi Arabia and UAE have also endured these attacks from Houthi rebels for an extended period. Therefore, the deployment of StormBreaker is viewed as a mission to safeguard international sea routes. It remains uncertain whether these developments will create opportunities or disappointments for Iran and Russia. As recent Houthi news continues to evolve, this scenario raises questions about nations like Iran and Russia. On the surface, Russia appears to have concentrated its military capabilities on its own fronts due to the conflict in Ukraine. However, Moscow shows no intention of completely withdrawing its influence from the Middle East. Russia, determined to maintain a strong presence in Syria, might be facilitating intelligence or weapons transfers to Yemen through indirect means, potentially affecting the strength of the Houthi movement. The acquisition of an advanced bomb like StormBreaker could present a golden opportunity for Russian weapons engineers and designers. The sensor technology, radar signatures, and software algorithms of such multi-mode smart munitions are particularly appealing. Similarly, Iran, which lags in guided bomb technology, could gain significant insights from studying the StormBreaker. This situation has raised considerable concern in the West about the possibility of unexploded or partially damaged StormBreakers being recovered from the battlefield. The implications could be far-reaching, especially considering how such technology might enhance the capabilities of forces aligned with the Houthi rebels, whose presence is marked by the Houthi flag across various territories they control. However, the United States typically activates self-destruct mechanisms or modifies usage protocols when deploying such sensitive weaponry. Defense analysts suggest that StormBreaker likely incorporates features like manual detonation controls, encrypted communications, and identity authentication systems. In essence, the system may be engineered to completely disable its functionality if it falls into unauthorized hands. Nevertheless, this cannot be guaranteed with absolute certainty. There remains a possibility that the Houthi rebels or their supporting intelligence units could extract valuable information by studying even basic bomb schematics or radar module designs. Recent Houthi news suggests their technological capabilities are advancing, and with the Houthi movement gaining strength, this scenario becomes more concerning. The sight of the Houthi flag in captured territories serves as a reminder of their growing influence. This nightmare scenario has compelled the United States to exercise significantly greater caution in its operations within Yemen, where the threat of sensitive technology falling into enemy hands looms large. Some sources suggest that the United States has deployed a small special operations unit in Yemen to track down lost or unexploded ordnance, though this information remains unconfirmed. Analyzing all available data, the United States' first large-scale deployment of GBU-53B StormBreaker bombs in Yemen has significantly altered the conflict's dynamics and increased pressure on the Houthi rebels. When integrated with primary weapon systems on advanced fighter aircraft like F-35S and F/A-18S, these bombs provide a precise combat methodology aimed at swiftly disabling the Houthi movement's missile and drone infrastructure. The recent Houthi news indicates that these precision strikes have severely impacted their operational capabilities. The future implications of the United States continuing to employ such advanced weaponry against the Houthi rebels raises questions about its impact on Yemen's ongoing civil war, particularly in areas where the Houthi flag still flies. While some analysts argue that completely eliminating this group is not feasible in the long term and that airstrikes merely diminish their strength, the precision targeting capabilities demonstrated by these weapons have proven effective in disrupting key Houthi installations and command centers, significantly impacting their ability to conduct offensive operations. However, Washington, aiming to prevent the Houthi rebels from continuing to pose a threat to maritime traffic in the Red Sea, believes that StormBreaker and similar smart munitions are the most suitable solution. The deployment of StormBreaker in Yemen represents more than just a military development. It potentially marks the beginning of a new era in technology sharing, deterrence, and regional balance in the competition between major powers. The United States' field experience and the risk of adversaries gaining access to these munitions could shape the arms race in the Middle East in the coming years. At present, it's evident that F-35 aircraft are operating at full capacity in Yemeni airspace, with Fa-18EF aircraft carrying StormBreaker bombs under their wings to strike Houthi movement positions. This campaign, involving major vessels like the USS Harry S. Truman and USS Vinson, reflects the United States' comprehensive attack approach. The official deployment of precision-guided munitions like StormBreaker enables pinpoint strikes against Houthi logistics centers, facilities where the group's leadership takes shelter, and drone production workshops. Recent Houthi news suggests these precision strikes have significantly impacted areas where the Houthi flag flies, demonstrating the effectiveness of this advanced weaponry against the movement's infrastructure. The ongoing operations showcase a strategic shift in how the United States approaches the threat posed by the Houthi rebels in the region. All these dynamics could shift depending on Iran's response, Russia's regional involvement, and Western diplomatic initiatives. However, the current reality remains unchanged. The United States has initiated StormBreaker bombing operations in Yemen and launched an air campaign effective enough to alter the Houthi movement's power balance. This development will directly influence the trajectory of events in the immediate future. Thank you for following and taking the time to read this comprehensive analysis of the situation surrounding the Houthi rebels. We will continue to closely monitor the latest developments in the shadows of the Yemen conflict and international weapons technology. The evolving situation with the Houthi flag still flying in contested regions remains a critical focus of our coverage. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, enable notifications, and hit the like button. In our next program, we will further analyze how these pivotal conflicts, including the latest Houthi news and regional developments, profoundly impact global politics. We appreciate your attention to these critical matters concerning the ongoing situation with the Houthi movement. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again at this same time tomorrow.